We hope that you and your family are safe, healthy and secure during this coronavirus pandemic. Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. is absolutely operational, and Ira, in addition to Brandon Smith, is readily available for a telephone consultation or video meeting. What is debt management in Ontario? The term, debt management in Ontario, can mean a lot of things to Ontario residents. There are debt management companies that offer a range of services, from credit counseling to debt settlement. In Ontario, these organizations offer their debt management services exclusively to individuals and not to businesses. Debt management is a process that helps you manage your debt and get it under control. A debt management program can only be successful if the person also learns new behaviors in how they deal with money and debt. Warning: the Canadian government has put out a consumer alert. This alert, titled Consumer Alert, What You Need to Know When Getting Help to Pay Off Debt or Repair Your Credit, warns Canadians about unscrupulous debt settlement companies and what you need to know. In many Brandon blogs, I have also put out that same warning. There are only two choices when seeking the right credit counselor to review your alternatives to deal with out-of-control unsecured debt, including tax debt. Legitimate debt management services in Ontario are provided via two types of specialists: accredited community-based nonprofit credit counseling agencies and federal government accredited and supervised licensed insolvency trustees. I recognize that debt is a huge issue for many people in Ontario and all of Canada. Most individuals do not also understand the massive influence it can have on them, but trust me, it is all too genuine. In this Brandon blog post, I review the different alternatives readily available to people looking for debt management in Ontario. What is Debt Management in Ontario Plan? A debt settlement plan, debt management plan or DMP, is a tool supplied by a nonprofit credit counseling agency that can help you get control of your money and back on course to living the debt-free life you wish to lead. Your dedicated credit counselor can help you identify if becoming part of a DMP is appropriate for you. If not, the nonprofit credit counselor can lay out all your available alternatives. For hardworking people who struggle to meet their monthly bills, a debt management plan might be the answer. Under the terms of a DMP, a person consolidates all of their unsecured debt under one plan. This plan, developed by any one of the many qualified counselors, usually involves making a single regular payment, a monthly payment, under a debt repayment program, to the credit counseling service. The nonprofit accredited credit counseling agency then distributes this money to creditors. This kind of repayment plan can take normally as long as 5 years to pay off 100% of your unsecured type of debt, but it can also be the solution that allows a person to become debt-free quickly. It's important to note that such an informal debt management in Ontario plan may not be the best option for everyone. What to consider before you sign up for debt management in Ontario? There is one major thing to consider before you sign up for a DMP. Before you take out a DMP, you want to make sure that you are in a position that allows you to pay off your debt without the assistance of your creditors. In a DMP, you are promising to pay your creditors 100% of the principal you owe them when entering into the debt management plan, with no reduction from the total owing. So you need to have established a realistic budget working with your credit counselor for the entire DMP period, showing you will be able to afford to maintain the monthly payment you are promising to make. Will creditors continue to contact me while I'm on a debt management plan? Debt management in Ontario. Most people view the DMP as merely a temporary solution until you have paid off all debts. But in fact, if done properly and taken seriously, it is a legitimate solution and behavioral modification program. If you learn the budgeting skills and accept the financial advice in the program and follow them as a permanent change to your money management behavior, it will allow you not only to focus on paying down your debt load while you are in the program, but teach you the necessary skills to not get into financial crisis in the future. You will have the money to make each regular payment to pay off your normal bills and live a financially healthy life. Once you've signed up for a DMP, your credit counselor will communicate with your unsecured creditors to advise that you are under their program and that payments to creditors will be coming from the nonprofit credit counseling agency. Your unsecured creditors will note that in their respective files and focus their communications to be with the Debt Management Program Credit Counseling Agency. Does debt management in Ontario hurt your credit? Most people entering a program for debt management in Ontario are on the financial edge of the ledge already. If they default on their debts, it will produce a lower credit score. While a DMP will lower your credit score at first, in the long run, if you keep up with the program and stick to your payment schedule and make your debt payment plan payments on time as agreed, your credit score will eventually improve. Do I have to give up my credit cards in debt management in Ontario program? The question of whether you need to give up your credit cards in a DMP is among the most common inquiries we get asked by debtors. The answer is although there is no law that says you must surrender your bank card for financial debt management in Ontario plan, you do need to quit borrowing. This includes using your existing credit cards. However, you can still utilize a secured credit card up to the limit you set with your financial institution that issued it. More likely though, the credit card firm will certainly remove your account once they obtain notification of your DMP. When you've effectively finished your financial debt management in Ontario program, you will become eligible for a normal credit card once more. What to do during your debt management plan? The Canadian government recommends that you ask the Credit Counselling Agency for timely written reports on the status of your plan, keep good records of all amounts you pay to the agency, and get receipts of all money you pay to them as well as regular reports of amounts they pay to your unsecured creditors for you. Carefully review your records and the regular reporting you receive from the agency. Ensure they are paying your creditors on time. This will keep you clear of any type of late fees or further adverse notations on your credit report. Debt management in Ontario. What are the disadvantages of debt management in Ontario plan? There are a few possible drawbacks to hopping on a DMP. However, in my view, they are not enough to stop you from doing one if you can afford it. The disadvantages are also common to any debt settlement in Ontario plan. In no particular order, it won't cover every one of your outstanding debts. DMPs typically won't include your secured debts and some unsecured debts, such as student loans. This is especially true if you are still in university or college, have not finished your course of study and need to continue to apply for student loans because you wish to continue either as a full-time or part-time student. Credit counselors can guide you but will have to take your secured debt payments into account when establishing your monthly budget. You'll typically need to manage those debts on your own. If you do not have any money left over each month after accounting for secured debt payments, rent or mortgage, food, income tax and other essential monthly purchases, then a DMP will not be possible for you. There could some service charges to pay for the DMP. As indicated above, no real accessibility to credit. During the initial counseling session, the credit counselor can help you review your realistic options. Perhaps you can still qualify for an Ontario debt consolidation loan. Keep in mind that if that is an option, you will need to be mindful of the effective interest rate you will be paying on your loan, albeit at an annual rate much less than on your existing debt. If neither a DMP nor a debt consolidation program are viable debt consolidation options or debt settlement options for you, then you will need to explore with a licensed insolvency trustee the other debt relief options of either a consumer proposal or bankruptcy to eliminate your unsecured debt. How long can you legally be chased for debt in Ontario? The answer is 2 years. A judge of the Ontario Superior Court of Justice in Bankruptcy and Insolvency recently released a decision. It was an appeal from the decision of a master sitting in the same court. The case was about the issue of a claim which is statute barred under the Ontario Limitations Act. Section 4 of this act says that you cannot enforce an outstanding debt for a claim the creditor has after 2 years from when the claim was discovered. This includes the day on which a creditor initially should have recognized they had a claim which called for enforcement. This case was about a creditor filing a proof of claim in a debtor's personal bankruptcy. The licensed insolvency trustee disallowed the claim because the claim was statute barred. The creditor appealed the trustee's decision to the master sitting in bankruptcy court. The creditor argued that although legal action cannot be taken on the debt, it does not mean that the debt still does not exist. The master dismissed the creditor's appeal and upheld the trustee's decision. The creditor then appealed the master's decision to a judge sitting in the same court. The judge reviewed the matter and upheld the master's decision. What this decision says is that not only can a debtor not be chased for a debt if no legal action was commenced within the 2-year period, they can't even file a proof of claim in the debtor's consumer proposal or bankruptcy. However, keep in mind that just because it is no longer a legal debt, the creditor would have made a notation with the credit bureau for your credit report before the 2-year period ended. So the damage to your credit score has already taken place. Can a trustee do a debt management plan? The answer is a licensed insolvency trustee can do for you the equivalent of a DMP. Consumer proposals can only be administered by a trustee. Consumer proposals are also the only federal government-approved debt settlement plan in Canada. To be equal to the result of a DMP, you would offer to your unsecured creditors to pay them 100% of all the unsecured debt that you owe. Remember, above I stated that a DMP pays 100% of your unsecured debt. There are many similarities between a consumer proposal and a DMP if you offer 100%. But as I indicate below, you can still have a successful consumer proposal by offering less than 100% to settle all of your unsecured debts. For details on how a consumer proposal works, check out my Brandon blog, Consumer Proposal FAQ, Answers to 10 Tantalizing Consumer Proposal Questions. Debt management in Ontario, which is better? A debt management plan in Ontario versus consumer proposal. Everyone's financial situation is unique. A DMP will not be as harmful to your credit score as with a consumer proposal, nor will it jeopardize any of your assets as with bankruptcy. You'll also gain money management skills that can help you in the long term and avoid debt in the future. But if you cannot get an Ontario debt consolidation service loan or a debt management plan is not appropriate for you, then there is another formal option that avoids bankruptcy. In a consumer proposal, you will also gain money management skills. In addition to your no-cost initial consultation, there are also 2 mandatory credit counseling sessions with an accredited credit counselor in the trustee's office. In a DMP, you need to pay 100% of your unsecured debt. In a consumer proposal, the amount you need to pay is calculated against what your unsecured creditors can expect to receive from your bankruptcy. In most cases, it will be much less than 100%. On average, you can expect to only repay about 25% of your total outstanding unsecured debt, including any tax debt. A consumer proposal is for any person that owes $250,000 or less, other than for any loans secured against your principal residence. If you owe more than this limit, or your company owes too much debt, then you can still get debt relief under a different proposal section of the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, Canada, BIA. Bankruptcy is of course the very last option anyone should consider. This should be considered only if you do not have the necessary cash flow to successfully complete any debt management plan. So what is best for you? Give me a phone call and I will let you know whether debt management in Ontario plan or a proposal under the BIA is better for you. I will tell you at no cost to you. Debt management in Ontario summary. I hope that you found this debt management in Ontario Brandon blog informative. Many people feel that they are trapped in a cycle of credit card debts, unsecured lines of credit, tax debt and generally an unmanageable level of debt. You may want to do something about those debts but you aren't sure what to do. If you have any debts, they can be overwhelming because they are so much money and you don't know how to deal with them. There are various debt management plans available that can help you reduce the amount of money you owe and help you deal with your debts. If you are concerned because you or your business are dealing with substantial debt challenges and you assume bankruptcy is your only option, call me. It is not your fault that you remain in this way. You have actually been only shown the old ways to try to deal with financial issues. These old ways do not work anymore. The Ira Smith team utilizes new modern-day ways to get you out of your debt difficulties while avoiding bankruptcy. We can get you the relief you need and so deserve. The tension put upon you is big. We know your discomfort factors. We will check out your entire situation and design a new approach that is as unique as you and your problems, financial and emotional. We will take the weight off of your shoulders and blow away the dark cloud hanging over you. We will design a debt settlement strategy for you. We know that we can help you now. We understand that people and businesses facing financial issues need a realistic lifeline. There is no one-solution-fits-all method with the Ira Smith team. Not everyone has to file bankruptcy in Canada. The majority of our clients never do. We help many people and companies stay clear of bankruptcy. That is why we can establish a new restructuring procedure for paying down debt that will be built just for you. It will be as one of a kind as the economic issues and discomfort you are encountering. If any one of these seems familiar to you and you are serious about getting the solution you need, contact the Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. Group today. Call us now for a no-cost consultation. We will get you or your business back up driving to healthy and balanced trouble-free operations and get rid of the discomfort factors in your life, starting over, starting now.